Hey guys, Frank here, your general aviation aviator, and today I am in the Pilatus PC Porter from Thranda, and I am just going to take off on the short runway at KRDU, Raleigh-Durham International, and um, my plan is to go up to about 8,500 feet and kick some people out, kick some parachuters out. So I'm just not getting checked out in the Pilatus PC Porter, so bear with me. All right, so let's climb in the cockpit. I see I don't have any um, chucks or covers on, so it looks like I'm pretty much good to go for a start. All right, so let's just pull out the Thranda menu here and go up to general. So I'm I'm actually going to go through the checklist and get the aircraft configured the way I want first with the Thranda menu. Now, let's see. Engine mode is going to be realistic. I don't need to tow it, so I don't need a tug. One of the reflections, I tend to always keep my reflections on, just adds to the immersion. Startup running is off. GPU is off. All covers, tie downs, and doors are closed and removed. I don't need extra fuel tanks, and all exterior lights are off at the moment. Chocks are removed, brakes are on, and steering is set to realistic. Livery. Okay, so I am using a default livery and along with the default um, tail number. Okay, weight and balance. Now, I am gonna add some parachuters, so I am not going to add any passenger weight, but I am gonna add weight for myself. 185 pounds is a little heavy for me, but I've seen 185 pounds a couple times in my lifetime, so I'm gonna leave it there. Um, Cameras, and there are some default camera modes that have come with the aircraft. So I'm just going through them to see which ones are which. Looks like I'm going to use number 4 the most. And how about that? Don't have any seats in here, so I'm already cargo bound, except for this seat here, which I do have to remove. Um, so let's go back here. Okay. The panel, now this panel here appears to be the 530, the G the Garmin 530, but I believe this is going to be the Garmin 1000, and I haven't determined how the best way to use it. This is one of the default panels, and I have made a custom panel, but for this flight, I am going to go ahead and use one of the default panels. Okay, so slew, I'm at RDU, as I said, and I'm going to leave the aircraft where it's at. Let's kind of get up and take a look's peek. I do have X camera, but I have not taken the time to learn to use X camera efficiently. Anyway, this is KRDU, and this kind of stuff just kind of drag out a video. So let's just keep going. All right, panel. And one thing about this panel is, like I said, I can change it up. Right now I'm on preset 9. Now, I think I did remove this guy here, actually, this guy here I notice does not work. This looks like a ounce meter, and I probably should report that. But there's an amp meter right beside it that does work, so I'm good. There was something else that didn't work. Oh no, actually it did work. It was a user thing. Okay, so let's just go ahead and remove this guy here since I know I don't need it. So I'm gonna go to enable panel and then individual panels, and I'm gonna scroll through until I see that guy get highlighted. There it is, and then I'm gonna go here and just turn it off. All right. Like I said, there's no need of using it. Now, this guy here, actually, this guy, this radar altitude, I've seen it work, but I don't know how to use it. So I really don't need it. And because I'm not trying to learn how to use it, at least right now. But for the sake of brevity, I'm just going to leave everything where it's at. Okay, GPU, like I said, I think this is going to, I mean, GPS. I think this is going to be the Garmin 530 because I'm sorry, the Garmin 1000 because the 1000 does come with the expansion pack, and I do have the expansion pack running. And the expansion pack is accessible through Miss here. Okay, so with this guy, I can add skis, but I don't need skis. But I'll just show you what it looks like with skis on it. Um, I can raise the skis in taxi and then lower the skis as needed. Um, let's see, tires. I can change to Tundra tires, which would be those guys. But I'm on the East Coast at KRDU, so I don't need them. And I could add mud flaps. So I am going to go ahead and leave the mud flaps engaged. The Porter is such a versatile plane that I think mud flaps is the way to go on this aircraft. I just wish I could figure out how to keep the settings that I choose here enabled by default. Um, Another question that I should ask in the Thranda developer forums, support forums. Okay, window small is set by default, but since this is going to be for parachuters, I'm actually going to make it large so that those guys can see out of the windows. And um, and synthetic vision, I know you can't help but see this red thing blinking. That's synthetic vision is not available at the moment, but it's coming. Probably be pushed through some sort of update. I hope it's pushed. Thranda does support Skunkcraft updaters, so I love that because I don't have to do hardly any work for updates. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on skydivers. In fact, let's get in the aircraft and you'll see this seat go away and the aircraft is going to fill with skydivers. And boom, there they go. I also got a new window here, um, and I'm not sure exactly how to use all this stuff yet, so just stay with me. But each skydiver, and I got 10 of them, um, 10 souls on board plus me. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Um, am I missing one? Oh yeah, I missed that guy right here. So that's 10. Plus me. So it's 11 souls on board. And each skydiver has a different color smoke. And I can turn the smoke off, but I am going to leave the smoke on for the purposes of this video. Actually, when I added the skydivers, that should have changed the weight. Um, let's see, I see the CG right here. So let's just make a mental note. Unfortunately, with X-Plane, I can't really make this stuff any larger, and it's even hard for me to see, so I can imagine how hard, I imagine that you can't see it at all. Um, but I'm gonna go here, turn skydivers off, and go back to weight and balance. And yeah, you see how the CG changed big time. And the other thing that you'll see is that when we put the skydivers in, how the plane kind of gets weighed down a little bit, kind of drop closer from the weight. Okay, so that's done. We got the skydivers on board. We got 11 souls, and let's see. I should go back to weight and balance one more time. Check my fuel. So I've got 42 gallons, roughly 43 gallons in each tank. So for the purposes of this flight, that's perfect. All right, so let's get in. And I got this checklister program, which is a plugin. I think Checklist is a free plugin, and there is a Checklister, a C checklist text file that drives this program for this aircraft. Okay, and this is the first version of it, but let's go ahead and get started. All right, so doors are closed, flight controls unlocked, checked and correct, parking brake is set, power lever is off, and that's just make sure, okay, and starter and ignition switches are off, generator switch is off, booster pump switch is off, that's that guy. Radio master is off. That's let's see which, I forget which master that is, but it's off. Okay, battery master is off. So let's go ahead and check that. Battery master, turn it on. All right, and check that our voltage comes up, and so our voltage looks like it's roughly about 25 votes, so that looks good. Fuel quantity, fuel system valve open and gated. I'm not sure. See, I'm not sure which valve that is. Fuel system valve open and gated. So that could very well be one of these valves here. Um, so just bear with me, guys, because we're all learning, right? All right. So these are some pumps. Um, and I know I got a booster pump here. And I don't know when to use these pumps versus when to use this pump. Um, but I can tell you that the aircraft works fine without changing any of these pumps here. All right, so let's just check this guy. See, fuel system valve. Okay, fuel system valve. And so a valve is not a switch, is it? Fuel system valve. I don't know. Could be something around here, but I don't want to spend a lot of time learning stuff with you guys aboard. All right, so we just go ahead and go to the next fuel quantity totalizer check set. Okay, and fuel quantities. Don't know what they quite mean by the totalizer, but but our fuel quantity is fine. So check that off. Engine instruments condition check. Okay, and they all look good. Don't see anything wonky or looking crazy. Or temperature should be above 40, minus 40 degrees Celsius. And it is. Okay. And booster pump comes on. Okay. And let's clear our prop area. Clear prop. Okay. And starter switch comes on. And once the starter come on, then I should see a fuel flow, which I do see. And my NG should start to rise, which it did, okay? And once NG is above 12%, look like it's 21 or 22% now, then I can go ahead and introduce the ignition and go to low idle. Okay, I can hear the turbines firing off. I'll be quiet a little bit and let you hear them fire off also. RTT look good. Starter can go off. Ignition can go off. Floor pressure. Right here in the green. And this, I think, going back to the fuel totalizer, this gauge here must be the gauge that they were referring to. Okay. ITT stabilized below 680 degrees Celsius. It's below 680, looks like it's about 450. And then just read this caution. Caution, if engine fails to light up within, I keep reading that because light up ain't quite making sense, but I think they use it, I think tend to use the term light off. If engine fails to light up within 10 seconds after selecting low idle, abort start, allow a 30-second fuel draining period followed by a dry motoring run before attempting another start. Okay. All right, next. And move this around so I can see it. I should make the background solid. Okay, after starting, if GPU is connected, then disconnect, okay. Propeller control level forward. I'm sorry. Prop control level forward. Okay. So that's wrong. That's the condition level. And prop. Now listen to this. Listen carefully when I feather this prop all the way forward. Okay, what I hear is the engine wind up even tighter. Um, but I didn't hear it this time. Okay. Um, Generator switch comes on. This is the generator light that shows the generator is off. So let's turn that on. And the light did go off. Perfect. Got Delta running. This is Traffic Global running in the background. There's a FP, a frame per minute cost of about 1 to 2 frames per minute with my setup. Okay, generator switch light went off. Uh, and I've got on the voltage, I've got about 28, which is about what I want. Yep. And amps positive. I removed the amp meter because, like I said, that was not working. Um, and do not select, okay, another caution, do not select the generator to the on with the prop feather, and do not feather the prop when the generator is on. Okay, so I did unfeather the prop with this guy. So I am being compliant. All right, and let's check out NG. Make sure that's above 51%. Where is NG? This is NG here. And it's above 51%, so we're good. Radio master can come on. All right, and then as you can see, there's the G1000. All right, and inverter, if installed, can come on. There's no inverter installed, and now something just happened. Looks like my X-Plane may be crashing to the desktop. Let's hope not, but right now I got a grayed out screen and an hourglass, which is not good. Okay. And it actually came back, so I'm not sure what happened there, but looks like we're good to go. So let's just check this off. Avion is set, and Raleigh-Durham is a Class C airport, but we're going to treat it for the purposes of this flight as a Class D, and we are not going to get a clearance delivery, but let's go ahead and tune in to we'll go ahead and tune in to ATC, not ATC, but ATIS, to find out what our weather is. So 123.8 is the ATIS frequency for RDU. Let's flip that in. Turn on COM2. Okay, I'm not hearing it. Let's see. Oh, because it didn't flip in.
Raleigh-Durham INTL information Lima.
Lima.
1500 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10.
Light and variable.
Sky clear. Temperature 14. Dew point -23. Altimeter 2992.
2992.
Arriving runways 05 left. 05 right. Departing runways 05 left. 05 right. Advise on initial contact. You have Lima.
Lima. Okay. So we've got Lima, and our runway in use is 05. Now, we're gonna request 3-2 from tower, which is a shorter runway. I'll tell you what, we'll take off on 05 right. We'll request 05 right, and we'll land on runway 32. Okay. So let's go ahead and tune to ground here. Ground for RDU is 0.7. 121. Throw that in, and we'll tune tower, and that's 119.3. Okay, so let's get that tuned in. Appreciate you guys sticking with me throughout this. I know it's slow, and a lot of the immersion actually comes from going through the checklist as opposed to jumping in, firing it up, and taking off. Okay, so we've got that done. Pull that down. Okay. And avionics set and quad. Let's see, we did get our camera. Let's turn on. Make sure our camera is turned on, and we are going to be VFR. So let's go ahead and turn on altitude reporting and compass synchronize 15, looking good. And let's set our heading bug to 5. Let's see, heading. Okay. And I don't fly this guy that often, so it's a learning process. That's 3, 4, and 5 right here, and this is the head bug. Okay, and the barometer was 2992. Okay, we're in altitude, and I think we wanted 7,500. Okay, and now we're in barometric pressure, and that was 2992. All right. Artificial horizon. And let's adjust this guy here. All right. And this guy here, it's set, looks like it's set to 5, and this right here maybe should be 0. Okay, I see what it is. It's being set according to the barometer. I did not know that. I'm not used to using the Aztec, the Aspen avionics suite. So we're at 2992, that's 400 feet. 400 feet is at ground level. So I think that's the way that works. If it's not, then correct me in the comments. All right. Continue with checklist before taxiing. Okay, so let's get our lights on. That's not in the checklist, so we want. Now I've got the Alpha Honeycomb yield with switch panel, so I'm gonna use that to control my lights. But actually, I didn't turn my beacon on before I started the engine. Let me see this guy here blinking. That's from a plug-in, so let me just turn that off, and that should fix that. Okay. Now I didn't start the beacon lights, which is a no-no, before I started the engine. So I'm gonna turn that on now. And it doesn't have taxi lights, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn my landing lights on. Okay. Um, and it's daytime, so I don't need navs. And this is my strobe. Now I got red strobes and I got white strobes. So I am gonna turn on red strobes for the taxiway and white strobes for takeoff. I'm not sure that's the way it's done in real life, but that's what I'm doing because it makes sense. I don't want those white strobes to be blinding anybody, especially at dusk or dark. Okay, before taxiing, passenger secure. Okay, and this is where we're briefed in. Okay, guys, we make sure you are yeah, fixed seat belts are secure. Actually, I'm not sure you even wearing seat belts, but make sure that you are secure and not going to fall out the door. We're going to take off and we're going to be climbing, circling up to an altitude at about 700 to 1,000 feet per minute. And once we get to 7,500, I will let you know, and I will open the door for you. Well, actually, you guys will have to open the door. I could actually, this opens the door, and let's see how can we close it. Uh, there we go. Just close it right through that guy's head. All right. So passengers are secure, landing lights. See, I did have that on my checklist. Nav lights as required. Um, good. I didn't think that was on there. I went through this once and very quickly at that. And I did not finish. I didn't go through the whole thing. Okay. Checklist taxiing. Okay, tail wheel steer. Okay, so let's check, make sure we got tail wheel steer on. It is. Um, and the tail wheel is steerable with the rudder through 25 degrees left and right of the neutral position. When the tail wheel is more than 25 degrees, the neutral position, from the neutral position, the tail wheel is in free swivel. Okay, power brake release. And that's this guy here. Beside this caution ring. Okay, let's try and get that pushed all the way in. I think our power brakes are released now. And let's do our brake check. Make sure nothing is beside me. Clear left and clear right. And we're going to, there's a fuel truck to my right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn to the left. Okay. So apparently I didn't release the brakes all the way, so I'm just going to release them with the letter V. There we go. All right, brake check. Brakes are working. Flight instruments, check those. All right. And we are good to go. All right, so let's get up to 5 right. And Turn the mic on too. Raleigh ground Porter PC-6 is ready to taxi. Requesting runway 5 right. Taxi to runway 5 right via Bravo. Pilatus PC-6. I don't know what my tail number is, so that's why I didn't call one. And if I make up one without it being written down, I would not remember. Oh, um, now I know you guys may be having some a tough time hearing me, and I could barely hear. I could barely. Oh, somebody's landing. I could barely hear um, ATC because I actually didn't turn. Well, I didn't turn my headphones on. So uh, anyway, there's an Easter egg here. By clicking on this guy, then it simulates this guy. It simulates putting on my headphones. Okay, and now I can hear a lot better. Okay, I'm on. He said Bravo, and I'm on. Shoot, I think that's Juliet. Okay, so let me go ahead and look like American is gonna turn not this taxiway, but the next one. So that lets me know that I really need to look to make sure that I don't have any landing traffic when I get takeoff clearance from tower. Okay, and this is a tail dragger. One thing I don't want to do is ground loop. Um, which these tail draggers are so easily ground looped. Oh, I need to look out. I am not in the habit of steering from outside the plane. And I notice that a lot of people who fly Microsoft Flight Sim like to fly from outside the plane, which I don't quite get. I get it for gamers, because though if you into it for gaming, then you could really care less about simulating, um, getting the views that a real pilot would get, assimilating, um, you know what I'm trying to say, simulating pilots, flight, simulating real world flight. But I see a lot of YouTube content creators flying from the drone position, which don't really make sense to me. But I see somebody landing over on my right. Maybe he's going to do a go around. Um, okay. So, as you can see, Traffic Global does have both airports, both runways in use. Okay, this is my ILS hold short line. Um, Clear day. So, pull up here, change frequencies, and before taxi. Okay, and there may be some run-up stuff that we may need to do. Trim as required. Now, I am not going to touch the trim. These are my trim settings here. Actually, I can move this guy to more towards liftoff, especially with the with the weight. But if I set, I think I got too much trim in. I've been hearing that alarm and I never knew what it was. Um, so another thing I just learned, another Easter egg here. Or okay, so but I can tell you that if I set this middle guy to green, then I would lose. I would lose the aircraft. All right, trim flaps to 28 degrees. Takeoff done. Flight controls free and clear. And let's see. So they are free and correct. And altimeter is 2992. We've already set that. Um, I think it was 2992. Should be. Yeah, it was. Boost pump is on. Heating P-tot as required. I don't need P-tot heat, but I am going up, so not to 7,500. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. Um, and prop de-ice as required. FCU sensor line heater on at ambient if it's below 4 degrees Celsius, which is not. Strobe lights are on, or temperature is in the green arc. And let's turn our strobes to white. Okay. And I tell you what, let's jump out and look at the red strobes. Okay. So the strobes are should be on red, but I don't see them. I think the strobe. I think this should be my strobes here. Let's turn it on white. And you know what? There are two buttons for strobes. And I'm doing stuff now that I should have did on the this is not the time to be doing a walk around. Okay, so I see white works. I'm not sure why I won't see in the red strokes. Um, I try to make a mental note. Excuse me, sorry about that. Just for the mic. Try to make a mental note to run that by the developer about the red strokes. Okay, instrument check. Instruments look good. Okay. And 2992, which is 1013 on this guy. Yep. And 2992 is here. All right. Doors are closed. Tail wheel locked. Okay, I don't want to lock my tail wheel until I line up. So I might see if I can't modify this checklist um, and move this out of the way and then upload it as a new version if I can. All right, so I'm just going to check that off and come back to that. Okay, rudder pedals free, and they are. All right, and tail wheel lock, confirmed aircraft roll straight. Um, and continue with takeoff. Okay, so let's actually, I suppose we need to move on the runway and then do some more checking. Okay, so Raleigh Tower, Pilatus PC-6 ready to take off runway 5 right. Make sure I don't see anything coming. Clear for takeoff, runway 5 right, Pilatus PC-6. All right. Now, one thing to keep in mind with this aircraft is that we always want to make sure that we don't over torque the engine when we get ready to really take off. Um, as far as runway length go, I shouldn't need but a few 100 feet to take off, even with this load. Okay, so check my line this heading bug up to the runway. All right, lock my tail wheel. Okay, that's locked. And make sure that it rolls straight. And it does. All right, condition to high idle and listen. I just love the F mod sounds, the way the engine continues to wind up when I go to high idle. Okay, check off. Let's see, okay, torque 47.3 and flaps up itself when I'm above 70 knots. Okay, all right, let's do it. The right rudder for P factor here. All right, tail wheel is up, and we are airborne just that quick. All right, trim. Okay, and 70 knots. Okay, flaps up. My flap up indicator is there. And we'll go ahead and climb out. And we want about 1,000. All right, so this is 1,000. Let's go ahead and trim for 1,000. And we are going to circle up. Okay, so we're going to circle to the right and we need to get above 2,000 to make the first turn because we want to be out of the way of jet traffic. I'm sorry, above 1,500. Circle to the right. And in actuality, we would go to clearance delivery. All right, climb. Booster pump goes off. Ore cooler set for ore temp. Okay, let's just check the ore temp. Oh, ore temp looks good. I don't know right now what ore cooler set. It says for temp between 74 and 80. Um, actually didn't read that. Okay, looks like I'm a little bit low on the ore temp because I'm at about 50 something. Okay, so looks like I'm turning downwind. And I had it trimmed and it was for 1,000, and it's amazing how stable this aircraft is. Step on the rudder a little bit. Now here I can probably adjust the rudder some. Around, I mean not rudder, but rudder trim is what I'm trying to say. Um, that's the attitude trim button there. Um, so I do have the electronic rudder trim button on the yoke. So got that P factor. All right, let's go ahead and make another turn. And the plan is to drop these guys right over RDU somewhere. Um, and I say that's the plan. Let's see if we see any traffic up under us. I don't see anything. All right, let me turn on labels and we'll find traffic. I got the labels turned on now. And I can't believe I don't see any traffic. I think I got the labels turned on. Let's try it again. Well, I do have them turned on. Okay, landing lights can go off. And let's make sure that ITT is under 695 degrees. Okay, ITT is at 600 roughly. So 695 is right there at that yellow, at that red mark. So it looks like I'm good there. So, okay, I'm gonna turn back upwind. Okay, and this should put me on my upwind leg. Let's see, where's the airport? So overshot it a little bit right now to get my upwind leg. I was actually trying to align it with the heading book. Heading book is off just a little bit. It's at 48. So let me do it that way. Get up to 50. Okay. Now, I'm hearing my outer markers, which I don't need, so I'm gonna turn those off. Nav. Let's see, markers. Oh, there you go. All right. And I'm at 5,800. Okay. And let's turn crosswind for 5 right. Okay, bring that heading bug right there and climb back up to 1,000 and let's look for that airport down there. Okay, this should be 3-2 that I'm parallel with, and I can see the 3-2. I can see the military, not hangars, but the FBO for the military. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn. Actually, I want to aim for that military base. So, and I got 1,000 to go. So, at 1,000 feet a minute, that means in 1 minute I should be at altitude. Okay. ITT looks good. Prop is still 4. So prop is not set to cruise. Okay, and 6,900. $500 to go. All right. And $200 to go. All right, guys. You guys prepare to jump. And let's level off. All right, so we're at jump height. Trim it up, and let's turn back towards the airport. I just need to turn 180 degrees. And there's the airport. All right. So, I got 10 of these guys to launch, so I need to open my door. And so tell that guy to reach down there and open the door, which he'll do. All right. And I'm a little bit high, but these guys don't mind. They're professionals. Okay, power it down a little bit. And then jump. And they're all out of the aircraft. Now I don't want to hit any of them, but I want to see them. So try to turn over. I want to see them. Okay, let's just look this way. Oh man, I'm missing them. I'm missing them. Now there is a way to fly the aircraft and come down with them. In fact, I can actually click on one of these guys and see. Well, looks like they are. Have all, let's see. I tell you what, let's go into beta and do it and dive bomb to get down with them. I'm not sure where I launched them at. I should see the smoke. But that didn't work out too well in terms of being able to see what's happening. Okay, I see one of them here, and one of them here, and I think they're on the ground. Yep, this is going to 0, so they're on the ground. I think I closed my door. Is my door still open? Yeah, I did. I closed the door by diving. Okay, so let's land on 3-2. And those guys are somewhere in the woods. So we have to get somebody to come cut them out of the trees. Now, so that's not going according to plan. My plan was to go into beta and feather that prop. No. All right, so let's land on 3-2 here. And I am getting away from the checklist. Okay, so I don't want to. All right, yep, there we go. See my nose down attitude and look at my airspeed. All right, I'm already in flap range. So let's introduce 28 degrees of flaps. And I'm at 65, 70, some more flaps. This is sweet, isn't it? All right. And all right. Don't want to crash. All right, now I do have a tail dragger, so I keep that in mind when I land. Tail wheels are in a lock position, and I'm down, and it never fails. I always ground loop. Oh well. And that was a ground loop without a runway with just a small runway incursion. All right, let's go back and look at this. See what it looks like. That was if I could have held that landing where it should have been, that would have been picture perfect. Let's go back to these guys here. Uh-oh. Let's see now. Why are they there? Oh man, you tell me, don't mean to tell me that I killed them. Uh, well, no. Let's see. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe if I run the playback, it was get everything where it should be. Nope. So apparently, playback doesn't work that well, but let's see what happened after I kick him out of the aircraft. All right, let's see. Now, somewhere up in here, I'm going to kick him out. So this must be a playback bug. Because they really should be in the aircraft. And I don't know at what point they get kicked out. Let's speed this guy up a little bit. All right, jump. There we go. And let's see. And that's why I couldn't see them. See, they're right up under the aircraft. So if you see my cockpit and see them, now I should have been able to look and see some smoke at when I did this loop. And looks like they are landing on both sides of the highway. Now, there is a lot more to the jumpers than I'm showing you, because you can actually jump with these guys and meet up with them. But this is one of my first jumps, so I didn't want to try to do anything fancy. And like I said, there's actually a way to jump and throw the aircraft in the equivalent of something like autopilot so that you can jump with them. All right, so let's see what happens when we decide to land. I think it's about that time. 3-2 is directly below us. Now, one thing I do like about the Pilatus is that you can really dive big time in this aircraft. And I've actually seen it done IRL via YouTube, the real life Pilatus on YouTube, diving from 10,000 feet to capture a runway just below it. And it was impressive and incredible. Okay, so I'm diving here. Okay, I'm in beta, but I didn't hold my beta. That was because I couldn't see the runway and I needed to get reorientated so I can know what I was doing. Should have been paying more attention to my gauges, but in VFR, you don't want to focus on your gauges. You want to look out the window. Okay. So there I am in beta. And you can see I'm not dropping like a rock, even with that nose down attitude. And I'll land. I didn't butter the landing, but the lower script did say it was a great landing, and then I tail loop, flaps in, flaps 4. Okay. And there's my ground loop. Once, twice, 1.5. And I didn't do a runway incursion. Can you believe it? All right. So let's get off the runway here. All right. So what I want to do is get some authority. It looks like I'm off the runway now. So I want some rudder authority. So move that back to here. Oh yeah, I gotta turn this guy off and unpause it. All right, now I should have authority. All right, and let's make sure that's still off. It is. Okay, and don't want to take off or do a. Let's see, let's pull that back to low idle. All right, and we'll taxi up to parking. Cross runway 1, 5 left, and I'm sorry, 5 right, and make sure that somebody's being dispatched to cut those divers out of the trees. All right, we'll stop right here and clean up the aircraft. Flaps up. Alternate transponder on, and landing lights can come off, strobes off. You know, I never did turn landing lights on to land. I got away from my checklist. All right, and um, and let's go to ground. They would have sent me to ground again. So let's go to ground. Raleigh ground. Pilatus PC-12. Taxi to parking. Taxi to parking via runway Juliet, cross runway 5 left. Um, Bravo to Juliet to parking. PC-12. I'm sorry, PC-6. All right, so cross runway 5 left. But since traffic global is running, I need to make sure that nothing is landing. And looks like I'm good to go. Clear to the right. Nothing's taking off either. Okay. Charlie. I was thinking this is Juliet. Charlie. Remember that for next time. Okay, and go up to Juliet here. Go to Juliet. So I didn't need Bravo after all. Just went across Bravo. And this is parking here. This is the GA ramp for RDU, which is incidentally my home airport, which is why I do so many flights out of this airport. Okay. And let's go ahead and shut down. Wrong plug-in. Open checklist. Cruise before landing. Before. I can't read that. What's this? Bait landing. Anyway, after landing, okay, stabilizer trim, I've done that. Condition levels, low idle, flaps are up, P-top heat comes off. And some of this stuff I might miss because I skipped a couple of checklists. P-top heat's off. Okay, FCU sense line heater off. I didn't turn that on. Tail wheel is locked. Okay, this is my engine shutdown. Parking brake needs to be set. Okay, parking brake is set. Radio master can go off. Landing lights are off. Generator off. And prop feather. Condition cut off. And master off. All right. And secure prop and external locks. Okay, so I can fix everything here just by clicking these guys here. All covers on, all tie downs on, and all doors open. Okay. And I thought I had a cover for the prop. I mean, not a cover, but a something that keep it from windmilling. But apparently, I don't. All right. Close these doors now. And this flight is done. Okay, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this. It was a blast flying this guy, and I will be flying it some more. Hopefully, I can fly it enough to feel like I'm really checked out in it and be able to go through a lot of these things without having to focus so much on the checklist. Anyway, Saranada, and as they say on ATC, see ya.